Welcome back to episode 39 of UnHammered with your host, Brantt Myhres. I hope you beautiful humans are having a wonderful day, week, whatever it may be, after that wild episode of hockey. If you're a hockey fan, you probably enjoyed the games that were just played, and we can chat a little bit about that too. Considering I don't really get excited for hockey anymore. I really don't have to admit it. I mean, I go out and play with the Oilers alumni once in a while, and I enjoy that. That's fun. But watching it, anyways, hey guys, how many of you stayed UnHammered for 7 days? And if you haven't, awesome. We love that as well. And cheers to the miracle, man. I want to remind myself about that every week, that I am a miracle. And if you've struggled with this nasty disease of addiction, you understand what I'm talking about. So 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, and 1 year. Congrats to you all. If you've made her that far without giving in to the little devil on your shoulder, walking, running, skipping, jumping, hiking. You guys ready to rock? Bang. Oh, Canada, our home, What do I want to read? What do I want to do first? What do I want to jump into? What the hell, Brantt? What's going on with you, dude? You know what? I don't know what's going on with me. Last night I went to late night grocery shopping, and it's at Safeway in Canada. And anyways, I'm going, and what did I get? I got some coffee cream, right? Some double that goes in the old banger here. And anyways, as I'm walking by, this is the weirdest thing. It was like I was in a different fucking dimension or something. But as I'm walking by, I see the aisle where you can self-pay. And I said to myself, oh my God, they literally just opened this up, because when I went into Safeway and I'd see lineups, I'm like, where the hell is the self-pay? So anyways, I go up to the lady. I said, oh, wow, this is cool. I'm like, when did you guys get this? She's like, 10 years ago. I'm like, what? I'm like, I swear to God, I thought, anyways, yeah, my head sometimes, man. And you know what? I apologize if my voice isn't doing that well today. I haven't been feeling well. But that's okay. Today, as Stuart Smalley would say from Saturday Night Live. Do you guys remember that skit? If you haven't, go to YouTube and Google Stuart Smalley. I forget what the actor's name is, but he's be like, I'm smart enough, I'm strong enough, and God darn it, I like myself. And I heard that when I was like 12. And I had to watch it again the other day. But anyways, what freaking day are we on today? Well, we're on this day. And now why don't we do a thought for the day, okay? So here's our thought for this is what they want us to think about. Now we can take an inventory of the good things that have come through us through AA and NA. To begin with, we're sober today, as I just mentioned, the miracle. That's the biggest asset on any alcoholic or addict's books. Sobriety to us is like goodwill in business. Everything else depends on that. Most of us have jobs which we owe to our sobriety. I would say all of you that are sober, every fucking good thing in your life today, you owe to your recovery. How about that? We know we couldn't hold these jobs if we were drinking or drugging. So our jobs depend on our sobriety. Most of us have families which we either had lost or might have lost if we hadn't stopped drinking. We have friends in AA, real friends who are always ready to help us. Do I realize that my job, my family, my friends are all dependent upon my sobriety? ? That's a powerful thought for the day. That's actually a thought for a few days, isn't it? But you know what? This strikes a chord with me, and I don't struggle with this today. Everything that I have in my life, especially the things that money can't buy. So this heart that I have, that I believe is good, and it's loving and it's caring. It wasn't like that when I was using. It was not caring and thoughtful. It was when it came to Brantt, but when it comes to other people, it wasn't. And it is today, and that's a result. What's the meditation, everybody? I must trust God to the best of my ability, or whatever that may be for you guys. This lesson has to be learned. My doubts and fears continually drive me back into the wilderness. Doubts lead me astray because I am not trusting God. I must trust God's love. It will never fail me, but I must not learn to fail it by doubts and fears. So it's a two-way street here, folks. We all have much to learn in turning out fear by faith. All our doubts arrest God's work through us. I must not doubt. I must believe in God and continually work and strengthen my faith. Well, speaking of that, you guys ready to say a serenity prayer? I am. And if you're struggling with the word God, it's all right, man. I get it. Replace it with anything you'd like. The rooms of AA. Maybe it's, I don't know. I don't know. Replace it with something other than you today, please. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Amen to that. Okay, do we have any messages here? Well, we usually get a couple, don't we? What do we got here? This guy's name is Colin C. Hey, Brantt, I finished listening to your book today. I really enjoyed it, and you did a great job with it. Well, thank you, Colin. Thank you for writing it and sharing it with the world. Yeah, it wasn't easy, bud. It wasn't easy. I partied pretty hard back in my college days and a few years after, but I've been sober almost 9 years, and I use triathlon as my outlet. It brought purpose back into my life. However, some of your stories sure brought back some similar memories. Keep up the great work, and thanks again for sharing your story. Colin, congrats, buddy. 9 years, man. Coming up. You'll do her, bud. That's amazing. This guy's name is Damien. Hey, Brantt, I love the podcast. I was addicted to alcohol and cocaine for about 20 years. And you got me by about 5. 3 impaired, 1 treatment at Henwood, over 20 different drunk tanks, and 1,000 blackouts. Jesus Christ, we would have got along great here. Nearly every time I drank without coke, I blacked out. Yeah, me too. Once I had no idea that I was basically driving around in my car for 2 days. I thought it was Sunday and it was Monday. I've been there. I just said that I forgot they had a checkout at the Sobeys groceries, but I wasn't doing coke. I drank straight from Friday night and I have no clue what I did Sunday. Anyways, Brantt, the reason I'm writing is now I am 12 years sober. I quit cold turkey right before my son was born. Damien, I love that, man, and I quit before my daughter was born. I quit before Peanut was born, and might have been a week or something, right? And so, hey, hats off to you, bud. Honestly, man, that's great. Keep writing in, dude. So you guys watch the hockey tournament, the USA and Canada. Like I said, I did, and Saturday night the Canadians played the Americans, and there was I wasn't expecting anything because you just don't, like, other than like Matt Rempe when he broke on the scene last year and the whole NHL went nuts and gaining all new fans, and because he was fighting every game. And so this one I didn't expect any fights or nothing like that. And right off the bat, Matthew Tkachuk goes with, I think it was Hagel. And then I couldn't believe it. I'm like, oh my God, wow. Four Nations game. Anyways, so then as soon as the puck drops, his brother Brady fights, and I sort of feel like I'm in some type of a dream because I'm just jumping at this point. I can't believe what's happening. It's fucking fire. I'm fired up. The fans are fired up in Montreal. Everybody's going fucking nuts. And then what do you know? 5 seconds later, JT Miller and the big man from St. Louis, Parenko, they start going. We got 3 fights in under 10 seconds. And all of a sudden, ESPN's going nuts, and everybody's going nuts and nuts and nuts and nuts. And what a game, one of the best games they've ever seen. USA wins. And why do you think that was? Well, there's a tension between both the countries, number one. Number two, they haven't played in 9 years or something fucking ridiculous like that. Number two. And there were fights. There was emotion. There was basically truculence, as Mr. Burke would say. And that's what people want to see. They want to see that. And I'm thinking to myself, well, if you tune into the final game, it ain't going to be like that, and there's not fights every game, right? But, hey, they're going to the Olympics next year in Italy. And for some reason, I never understood those IIHF Olympic rules. I think they're fucking sort of dumb, to be quite honest. Bigger ice sheet. Why? Not NHL rules. You can't fight. Why? Who decided that? What, you don't think it's good for ratings? They just broke the fucking record charts for those fights in that game. And then the following game, what do you mean it's not good for ratings? Of course it is. Implement National Hockey League rules over for the Olympics. Fine, whatever. You can't find a rink, whatever. Use the big ice, but keep NHL rules in there. Do they do a shootout over there too? Jesus. Anyways, and the other thing too, you see a lot of people online and they're bashing the great one, Wayne Gretzky. And you know what? I think that's piss poor class out of, from anybody that does that, especially if you're a Canadian. I mean, the guy, number one, Wayne Gretzky hasn't lived in Canada since 1988. You guys do any math? How long ago that was? Number one. Number two, he's the greatest ambassador of any sport that's ever lived. Ever. Prove me wrong. You ever had a bad thing to say about Wayne Gretzky in however long, 40 years? No. He grew hockey in the United States from 21 teams to like 28. He's done more for the game than anybody on the planet of the earth. And there's those keyboard warriors that are saying that you're done with 99 and he's a piece of shit. Well, you know what? Why don't you put an egg in your shoe and beat it? How about that? Wayne Gretzky, just because he voted for a guy named Donald Trump, who cares? Are you going to really just sit there and stew about that and be angry about that on a political view? He's not blowing up your inbox because of who you voted for. I mean, the guy's got class. We're not talking about fucking P. Diddy here. We're talking about Wayne Gretzky, an absolute icon and legend. And who cares who he voted for? Again, you're real tough behind those computers and those keyboards. But my God, show that man a little bit of respect and like I said, remove the politics from it. We just saw politics over the weekend. With the booing of the national anthem. I think that's wrong. But it is what it is, and everybody is entitled to their opinion. I get it. I'm not saying that you're not entitled to your opinion. I just think that it's really classless to do that, especially from a guy that has given so much to the game of hockey. So much. His whole life, and just because he went to the ballot box and voted for somebody other than who you like, he's not a traitor. It doesn't make him a traitor. Believe me, we can bring up traitors. We can bring up traitors. And Wayne Gretzky is not a traitor. He's the best ambassador that hockey has ever known and ever will know. So that sort of was my view on Wayne Gretzky and people bashing him. You're probably going to keep doing it anyways because you're fucking miserable. But anyways, keep going, Wayne. Got a question here. Hey, Brantt, did you find any of the 5 rehabs you went to that one was harder than the others? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sort of hard to like go. I'd have like the book behind me has it written out perfectly page by page, and I'm trying to think which one was harder. Probably, maybe 3. That's when I did like a 6-monther, and they sent me to Vegas, and I was in Sylvan Lake all alone, and then I drove to Sacramento to see my girlfriend Molly, and it was just a long, grinding fucking journey, man. In stage 3, it was 6 months, but it turned out to be longer. It turned out to be like a year or something like that. So I'd say that one was really tough. I wasn't in treatment as long. I think I was in Vegas for only like 60 days, and then I had to do outpatient or something like that. I can't really remember, but one was difficult because I thought I was getting out after, the movie 28 Days with Sandra Bullock. Like, well, that's what rehab says in the movie. Like, no, unpack your bags. So anyways, one was bad because I wanted to strangle those fucking doctors. But again, looking back on everything, right? Hindsight 2020, it was me. It was all me. It was not the doctors. It wasn't my dog Daisy. It wasn't Molly. It wasn't anybody. It was Brantt Myhres. It was the shit that I fucking was sitting in, and until I was ready to wipe my ass and get rid of it, I was going to keep sitting on it. And that outhouse was getting fucking gross all those years. But not today. Not today. Hey, you know what? Are any of you guys struggling with faith at all? Like the process of faith and just how tough that can be. I know some people that have zero faith in the process. They don't want to, they would never even think of trying to get sober, even seeing results in other people that have done it. It's too fucking scary for them. They're daily users, and they've been doing it for so long that their brain is just completely fucking rewired, and it's done, it's done. And not to say that there's not hope. There's always hope, right? But my point is, I think that in some people, the word faith, if they've never really given this thing a shot, they don't understand it fully. And I was going through some ideas on faith, and when people basically don't have any hope and they don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. So I wrote down some things here, and maybe we can chat about them. So number 1 is the next right step. So focus not on the entire road ahead, but just the next step. Faith isn't about seeing the finish line. It's about trusting the ground that will be there each step you take. Yes. Okay. And number 2 is borrowed faith. When you don't have faith yourself, borrow it from somebody who does. Let the belief of a friend, a mentor, or a community carry you until you can stand up on your own again. Well, that's a good one. I did that with a couple people early on in my sobriety. That's a big one, man. Borrow it. Borrow it if you don't have it. Number 3, the what if game, but in reverse. Your mind might scream, what if everything goes wrong? Flip the screen. What if this leads to somewhere better than I imagined? Question mark. Faith can be a shift in the questions you ask yourself. That's true because, man, there's been some times where, like, well, it happened with the LA Kings job, right? When that one came to an end. And my mind said, what if everything goes wrong? You know? And I kept falling back on, well, what if something comes around the corner that's better than I imagined? And as those of you who have read the book Painkiller, that's what came right after the King's job. And that, my friends, is doing it in reverse. Number 4, proof from your past. Oh, shit. Here we go. Think back to a time when you didn't see a way out, but you survived. Yeah. Fuck me. That happened to me lots. But probably that night when I was looking at the stars outside and I wanted to commit suicide. Use your own story as proof that light can break through, even if you don't see it right now. Yeah. Number 5, invisible roots. Okay. Remind yourself that just because you can't see progress doesn't mean it's not happening. Like roots growing underground, faith means trusting the work is happening beneath the surface. Amen to that. Man, I love number 5. Cheers, number 5. And that had to do with this. That had to do with this UnHammered podcast, man. Like I said, I don't make a fucking dime from anybody. I've turned down sponsorships, actually. Not that I wouldn't take one, but... So it was having a vision and having a belief in something and not knowing how to do it. But I knew that if I could convey the message of hope and my experiences that I've written about, that I already had proof that people grabbed onto and identified with, then I was going to go forward with it. But yeah, man, the roots, I had to really dig those feet in and plant the roots because it was sort of scary. Number 6, create a hope bank. Oh, I like that word, hope bank. Write down moments when something good happened unexpectedly or when you overcame something you thought you wouldn't. When you lose faith, reread those moments to remind yourself the light has found you before and it will again. That was a good one, hey? All right, number 7. Faith without conditions. All right. Sometimes, faith means letting go of the need for immediate answers. It's choosing to believe in the process without demanding a timeline or proof. Man, oh man, I don't like this sometimes. This is all about that word faith and not getting immediate satisfaction. And to us addicts and alcoholics, we fucking hate that. Well, I do. I want it now. I'm paying you for the Coke. Give me the Coke because I know the high's coming in a few minutes. But sobriety, well, when am I going to get mine? What do you mean? Just go to meetings and read the book and help people. When am I going to get mine? Well, what do you mean? Did you hear what I just said? No, yeah, I heard what you said, but when am I going to get mine? All right. Number 8, future letters. Interesting. Write a letter to yourself 6 months from now. Oh boy, here comes the emotional bear. Imagine what your life might look like if you kept going. Describe the strength you'll feel for not giving up, even when you couldn't see the way forward. That letter to me is scary. All right, number 9, the candle in the dark. All right. A single candle doesn't light up a whole room, but it's still a light. Faith isn't always a blinding sun. It's sometimes just a flicker that keeps you from total darkness. Hold on to that flicker. Why am I getting emotional today? Number 10, the last one, the even if mentality. Faith doesn't always mean believing because things are getting better. It's saying, even if I don't see the light yet, I'll keep going. Okay. Did you guys like the I guess it would be sort of an outlook on faith and what faith means to you and what faith really is, you know? And sometimes it's hard, everybody. It's hard to have faith in not even your sobriety, just sometimes in the world around you, you know, and the experiences that you have that are hurtful. And you try to block them out, but sometimes they're just there. And you go to bed and you say, hey, Faith, how about tomorrow? You know, how about tomorrow? You know, like I've been hanging on here for a little while, but how about tomorrow? And then tomorrow comes. And it's relatively not as good as you wanted. And that's called faith. You keep going. I mean, hey, like I've got what, a little over 3 years clean now, and my son's birthday is coming up. My daughter's birthday too. Chloe and Kane are a day apart. Peanut's on the 27th of February, and Canner's on the 26th of February. So, anyways, their birthdays are coming up soon. And you know what they get to do? So Chloe would get to know that she's turning 17. So every birthday she's had, Daddy's been sober. And Kaner's turning 4. Old Buds is turning 4. And Buds hasn't seen his dad drink or do drugs. And Buds has seen his dad I guess just be there for him, right? And get up in the morning and lay with him in bed and rub his head, you know, get him going a little bit, make him laugh, brush his little teeth, put his little outfit on, get him some cereal or some not pancakes, but what are those? Eggo waffles, maybe? I don't know. I'm fucking single. Don't get on me. Like, make him something better for breakfast. Take it easy on me, man. Doing my best. Anyways, my point is he gets to see consistency with his dad, and that's important. Important to me. Hey, so did we ever talk about step 2? And what is step 2? I think we did a long time ago, right? But sometimes step 2 is, especially if you're struggling in any way, whether you're sober or not, it could even mean food, right? Where you go into those fucking those eating binges where you get the family-sized bag of chips and you're just gonna have one. Next thing you know, both your hands are filled with ketchup paste. Fucking bag's gone. So step 2 is really restoring you back to being sane, to sanity. And sorry if I'm sniffling, I'm getting sick. Came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. And I understand that because I was insane. And those of you, actually, we read something and we've talked about the insanity of the disease, you know, and as I've mentioned, those people that, some people that I know that they never want to try it. And so they'll stay in this sort of like insane state, you know. And so anyways, this one says, the moment they read step 2, most of AA and NA newcomers are confronted with a dilemma, sometimes a serious one. How often have we heard them cry out, "Look what you people have done to us!" ! You've convinced us that we are alcoholics and addicts. that our lives are unmanageable. Having reduced us to a state of absolute helplessness, you now declare that none but a higher power can remove our obsession. Some of us won't believe in God, others can't, and still others who do believe that God exists have no faith whatever he will perform this miracle. Yes, comma, you've got us over a barrel all right, but where do we go from here? Question mark. Where do we go? We're going to start talking about getting you sane. Let's look at the case of the one who says he or she won't believe, the belligerent one. He or she is in a state of mind which can be described only as savage. His or her whole philosophy of life in which he or she so gloried is threatened. It's bad enough, he thinks, to admit alcohol or drugs has him down for keeps. But now, still smarting from that admission, he is faced with something really impossible. How does he cherish the thought, how he does cherish the thought that man, risenly so majestically from a single cell in the primordial zone, is the spearhead of evolution, and therefore the only God that this universe knows. Must he renounce all this to save himself? Question mark. At this juncture, his AA or NA sponsor usually laughs. This, the newcomer thinks, is just about the last straw. This is the beginning of the end, and so it is. The beginning of the end of his old life and the beginning of his emergence into a new one. His sponsor probably says, take it easy. The hoop you have to jump through is a lot wider than you think. At least I found it so. So did a friend of mine who was a one-time vice president of the American Atheist Society, but he got through with room to spare. Well, says the newcomer, I know you're telling me the truth. It's no doubt a fact that AA and NA is full of people who once believed as I do. But just how in these circumstances does a fellow take it easy? Question mark. That's what I want to know. That, agrees the sponsor, is a very good question indeed. Period. I think I can tell you exactly how to relax. You won't have to work at it very hard either. Listen, if you will, to these three statements. First, Alcoholics Anonymous and Narcotics Anonymous does not demand that you believe in anything. Okay? All of its 12 steps are but suggestions. Second, to get sober and stay sober, you don't have to swallow all of step 2 right now. Looking back, I find that I took it piece by piece myself. Third, all you really need is a truly open mind. So open your mind, people. Just resign from the debating society and quit bothering yourself with such deep questions as whether it was the hen or the egg that came first. Again, I say, all you need is the open mind. All right, everybody. And all I need is not a runny nose. But I'm sick and I'm down here recording. That's good. It's fine. Fuck it. A bit of a whatever stuffy nose. My chest is hurting. My head's sore. That's fine. It's all good. Why don't we end her, guys? Why don't we end her with the promises? Why don't we end it with the promises that they talk about in the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous? All right. Here we go. Bang. Big book. If we are painstaking about this phase of our development, we'll be amazed before we are halfway through. We are going to know a new freedom and a new happiness. We will not regret the past, nor wish to shut the door on it. We will comprehend the word serenity, and we will know peace. No matter how far down the scale we have gone, we will see how our experience can benefit others. That feeling of uselessness and self-pity will disappear. We will lose interest in selfish things and gain interest in our fellows. Self-seeking will slip away. Our whole attitude and outlook upon life will change. Fear of people and economic insecurity will leave us. We will intuitively know how to handle situations which used to baffle us. We will realize that God is doing for us what we could not do for ourselves. Are these extravagant promises? We think not. They are being fulfilled among us, sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. They will always materialize if we work for them. And that, my folks, is episode 39. I'm going to go take some Neocitrin or something, drink a whole bunch of water, sit by the fire. Man, maybe watch some hockey or something. But anyways, hey, thanks everybody for tuning in to episode 39 of UnHammered. I love all you beautiful humans, and thanks for helping me build this tribe since week 1. That's week 39. That's awesome. So again, have a wonderful week. If you have any questions, info@unhammered.com. I will get back to you. And again, everybody keep the faith. Bang.